Well, we continue with more developments, and the latest Namibia Trade Statistics are out. And Elija Saushini is the manager of price statistics at the Namibia Statistics Agency, who is now joining us here for a full update. Mr. Saushini, we thank you so much for coming through this evening at this particular hour. Firstly, just fill us in this particular development, and also perhaps the importance of merchandise trade to the country's economy and its development.
Okay, thank you, Selma, and good evening to the viewers. My name is Elija Saushini. I'm the manager responsible for price and trade statistics at the Namibia Statistics Agency. So merchandise trade statistics plays a vital role in the economy's growth as well as development. When you look at international trade, you also look around us, you find that all the products that are around us, the cameras that are in front of us, all these are imported products. So international trade, it opens large market for Namibia. It also provides a variety of products. So if you go in the shop, you get to find so many products that otherwise we could not have produced them as the country. So we also look at resource allocation. You might see that Namibia is not able to produce other goods, but Namibia is still good in producing some of the goods. So in terms of comparative advantage, Namibia is good in other things. So we tend now to channel our resources to products that we can provide, or the products that we can produce at a cheaper price, and then we can offer that to the international
market.
market.
What are those good things that we are able to produce?
The good thing, the products that we are able to produce right now, like at the moment, when you look at the mining sector, we are able to produce like the diamonds that are being mined. We are also able to produce this fish that we have, and this fish is not just fish that is caught from the sea and then exported. Of course, there is more value that is added to this. So as you add more value to it, you also create employment for the local citizens.
Absolutely, but just speaking about imports, but also it makes me think of our trade deficit. I think we were roughly over 9 million in the first quarter. Where do we stand in the month of August, last month actually, and also is it not concerning that it has increased compared to previous years? What are the driving factors?
Well, when you look at the trade deficit, it's actually a measure of the difference between the exports and the imports.
Yeah.
So ideally, you would want to have more of the exports because that will give you a surplus. And once you get that surplus, you are able to invest it back into the economy. If you get a deficit, that means you are spending more than what you are earning as a country. But now the trade deficit for this current month, which is the month of August, we saw that the deficit was about 3.6 billion. And that's quite a lot when you just consider a month.
From the 9 million to now 3 billion.
Yes. So the driving force is actually because we are in a drought situation. And this means that if we are in a drought situation, we are already a dry country, so we don't produce much when it comes to food. So we import most of the food. You realize that Namibia imports about 80% of the food, mostly from our neighboring country, South Africa. So that's part of the reason why our deficit is going up. Another reason why our deficit is going up is because Namibia is a country that is just into the developing phase. So we are trying to establish different industries, and as we try to establish these industries, we import a lot of capital goods, and these are heavy machineries. They cost a lot of money. If you look in the mining sector, there are so much machineries that are there. There are heavy equipments that are used there. Even in the sea, when we talk about harvesting fish, we have to import a vessel to come and do that. So these are equipment that contribute to the deficit of our country to widen.
Yeah. But how can we change the status when I also understand? I know you highlighted the mining sector as one of the driving forces as well, in terms of our imports and so forth. But which other sectors can we actually take advantage of for a turnaround?
Yeah, you might want to look at agriculture, because when you look at agriculture, as much as Namibia is a dry country, but there is a lot that can come out from the sector. When you look at from the southern part of the country, we are producing grapes. And these grapes for Namibia, they are harvested 2 weeks earlier than anyone else in the world harvests this. So when we harvest those grapes, the market is only looking at Namibia to export those grapes to the other countries. So when you also look at the northeastern part of the country, they have also invested in the blueberry farm. This is also another sector. So agriculture has the potential. It's only that we can say there is maybe some kind of not support that is going in that sector.
Support from our own country.
Yes, because if we can take a look at other countries, they are actually providing subsidies to the farmers. And when you provide those subsidies, you are giving the farmer the capital to invest in the activities that they are doing. And then they can be able now to produce more products.
At any given time, was there in this particular report that just came out, have you established some of these relationship with other countries in terms of our trade in the agriculture sector in particular?
Yeah, when you look at the different agreements that Namibia has with various countries, I'll say the EU. Namibia has a relationship with the EU in the name of a free trade agreement. That free trade agreement is still also applicable because recently there is Namibia also signed up the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. That's a huge market. We are looking at about 3 trillion USD in terms of GDP. We are looking at about 3.2 billion in terms of the population of the whole continent. So all this is a market that Namibia can actually tap into.
And I mean, of course, I do understand that the NSA has also introduced the section in the report that tracks trade on food items as well as the beverages as well. What necessitated this addition to, and also just talk to us about the figures under that particular section?
Yeah, like I said earlier, the Namibia is a net importer of food. And the reason why is a net import of food is because we don't produce enough. So we tend to go out and import this food. But then the NSA decided to say, well, maybe this is not known by the policymakers, so let's give it to them. So on a monthly basis, we run that analysis on the imports of food. And if you go back even from a year earlier, you'll find that Namibia has been recording a deficit when it comes to food imports. So as time goes, like the current month of August, things turned around and Namibia was able to report a surplus, although small, but it's something that shows that at least there is something that has started to work, mostly in the agricultural sector, because that's where the food is being produced.
That also takes me to the next question, because you highlighted the policymaker and so forth. We know that for any given country, timely and quality statistics are very important. How does NSA actually source their statistics, and perhaps your relationship with policymakers in this regard?
Yeah, I think NSA sources its statistics in various ways, but because we are talking about trade statistics, you think of Namibia Revenue Authority. So NAMRA collects a daily transaction of imports and exports. And then on a monthly basis, the first week of every next month, the NSA will then source this monthly trade from NAMRA, and then they will do the processing and then analysis and then dissemination. But in terms of the relationship, yes, we do have an MOU with our provider of trade statistics, which means when that time comes when we are supposed to get these statistics, of course, it's always available for us to use.
What is NSA's expectations for the next report? In terms of performance, of course.
Yeah, it's hard to say when you look at trade statistics, because there are always outliers, there are always upswings and downswings. So you realize that in the next month or in the previous month that has started now, the month of October, there might be a commodity that will be exported somewhere that is not usually exported. Yeah, there might also be a product that Namibia will import that has never been imported. So all that are factors that actually contribute to, you know, us not really predicting the figures in terms of trade statistics.
That's fair. Well, Mr. Saushini, thank you so much for joining us this particular evening. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but we do appreciate the time and information tonight.
All right, thank you.
Well, there was Elija Saushini, the manager of price statistics at the Namibia Statistics Agency, giving us an update on the latest Namibia Trade Statistics.